Well, I had to do it. She was a 2013 model. I put way too much money into it and then it just wouldn't start anymore. So the YT4000 is down for good. It's in the junk pile now. I pulled all the parts off that I could that were any good that I could salvage and sell and get rid of. And let me bring you on over to the new riding lawnmower. So here it is, a Troy-Bilt pony. Same deck width, 42. That works really good on my property. I'd like to have something bigger or wider, but it just doesn't make sense with all these roots and narrow passages I have, even though this property is 4 acres. A lot of trees here. So let's get into it. Now I got this lawnmower at the local Home Depot, which was about 30 minutes away, and the price was $14.99. It had been marked down. It had been sitting there. I've been noticing there's probably about 10 of them that had been sitting there for about a year and no one would buy them. So I said, well, let me give it a shot. Let me see what it's all about. You know, I got a little bit of experience in small engines. And so I went over to the Home Depot and checked it out. And right off the bat, it wouldn't start. And the guy that was working there is a young guy, and he didn't know how to start it, or he said they wouldn't sell because they couldn't get started. So I said, give me a battery and some starter fluid. Obviously, all the batteries were dead. I picked up, they gave me a free battery. Well, not a free battery, it was included. And I sprayed some starter fluid in there and it ran right away. And I noticed the gasoline wasn't this color. It was like dark piss yellow. I mean, like, it looked like orange juice. I'm like, that gas is old. How long has it been there? Oh, about a year. So I'm like, yeah, you guys got them marked down because you don't know that gasoline goes bad after about 6 weeks when it's got ethanol in it. So that was really the only issues. One thing it was missing was this grip tape, and now that if you look at it now, it doesn't quite look as perfect. Well, it looks pretty good, but I just cut it out of I bought a skateboard grip tape off of eBay for like $8. So I cut it out and stuck this grip tape on there, and I even put some extra pieces there and there because I just had some laying around. It was made for a whole skateboard, so I figured I'd just use as much as I can. And that was about it. Now they did have a Bronco, not a pony, and I wanted it. This pony's 15.5 horsepower, single cylinder. It does great. It does fine. I think the 13 would do fine too. But the issue with the Bronco, that the left axle was bit, and as the wheel would turn, it would go like this. Man, if it wasn't for that, I could have got the Bronco. It was a 19 horsepower. I think it had a hydrostatic transmission. I know it had a pedal here on the right side, so you can adjust your speed, but this one doesn't. You got engaged blade, deck height, reverse, neutral, forward, and you got your clutch brake right there. And man, this thing starts right up, and I like that. The seat on the Bronco was one piece. It didn't have this plastic backing. It was all one piece, so you know it would never like come apart over time. And it had a hole in the center that would like air out your back. And on this model, it had a smaller battery, probably about that big, and a battery tray. And I had this new battery that I just bought, and I put in that Craftsman. I said, you know what, I'm gonna use this and sell that other little one. So I took out the battery tray and put some of this plumber's tape, just screwed it in. It goes down, it holds the bottom of it, and then I screwed it back in right there so it doesn't fall down anymore. And it's being controlled front and back so it doesn't fall out, and it fits just fine. Plenty of room. So I got the oversized battery on this one. And another feature on this one I kind of don't like, but it's not that much of an annoyance. there's this reverse switch here. So when you put the key in and you crank it, then you put it back to yellow where you can go in reverse. Well, it'll die if you got the blade engaged. So you got to press this. See it lit up red? Now you can go in reverse. And you only have to press it once per engine start. So it's not like you got to press this every time you go in reverse. So they also have a pocket here for whatever. It looks like there could be something here, but there's nothing there. There's this plug that you can take out and put a switch or something. And the thing I don't like about this tractor is the lights stay on the whole time it runs. So I got this switch off my YT 4000, and they had a plug sitting in there too, like that. So I took it out and just cut the hole a little bit bigger. It was really easy. I just used my knife. This plastic is easy to work with, and popped in the switch. And now you can see right there where I can connect the wires, and that's the wire right there. So I just need to splice that, run a wire feed up there and back down, and now I can dictate whether I want my headlights off or on. That's it. Pretty simple. It's a 1-cylinder. It's got plenty of power. Another thing I don't like about it is that the spark plug, not really the spark plug wire location, because it's got to be there next to the cylinder, but where they put the exhaust seems kind of close to the wire. It would have been nice if they would have, I don't know, you would think that gets pretty hot after a while, after a couple years of use. So I'm gonna keep an eye on that, because you know the wires that they use, it's just regular speaker wire. It's not even real spark plug wire. But everything's real simple on this tractor. Everything is the wiring is real simple, easy. Little harness. Fuel tank is right here. I had it up to here before I started cutting my 1 acre, and I just used that. So you can probably cut 2 acres easily on this one little small fuel tank. And you know, that threw me off at first, because I would have a big fuel tank for that big YT 4000, and you know, it was 2 cylinders, so it was burning a lot more fuel. But this doesn't burn as much fuel, so it saves you on the fuel. The air filter is pretty neat. You don't have to keep twisting and twisting. You just snap it, and there's your air filter. It didn't come with the pre-filter, but next time I do a oil change and filter replace, I'm gonna get one that has a pre-filter on there. That's ideal for just about any kind of dusty situation. I do like the hood. It's really good. Lets the heat come out. And in here, as you can see this round fan cowl. It actually creates a tunnel that can suck the air in. So if you're trying to cool off the motor, say like after you run it, you want to put it, after you run it for a good while, like cutting an acre, you want to put it low, let it sit in the shade, and just run. And don't open the hood, because that'll do it worse. Here it's sucking in air in that cowl versus that. And it's just going to suck in air, let it run for about 15 minutes or 10 minutes. Then let it suck in cool air and cool it off, and then cut off the motor. Don't cut it off right away, and especially don't do that and put it into the sun. It's just heat soaking, and it's got a lot of cool air going through there too, which is great. They finally figured that out. Let's let a lot of cool air go through there, right? The deck is really good, except for the spindles don't have grease fittings. So if you're going to cut with this, don't cut wet grass. Don't go into small water puddles and suck up a bunch of water. You're going to mess up those bearings and the spindles real quick. So be cautious of that. And when it does come time to replace them, see if you can get spindles that have grease fittings, like an aftermarket one. Another thing that this doesn't have, because it was a bit of a budget, but it doesn't have the anti-scalp wheels. And I'm thinking I might take the other ones off my old deck and weld them on here in the future, just to keep it to where you can put it on the lowest setting and it'll roll, and it won't you know, go like that, because it does shake a bit, which it's supposed to. But for the most part, you know, I got this on a Home Depot card. If you spend over $1,000, you get $100 off when you get the card. So I was able to talk them down to $14.99, from $14.99 to $1,400. Then I got the $100 off, so I was $200 off clearance. So that makes it $1,300, and I think that's a way better price than trying to buy a used one for $700 like I did, because you can get an old used ones for $700 and think you're gonna make it last. But if it's more than 8 years old, like mine, when I got it, I think it was 9 or 10 years old, and it only lasted 2.5 seasons, and it was shit. You know, it was way past its time. You know, they only last so long. So I recommend, you know, if you want to get one and make it last and get more bang for your buck, buy new, because that $1,400 is going to last you 8 years versus $700, which is half the $1,400, and only lasts you 2.5, 3 years. So that's something to think about. Well, there you go. The switch is off. Now it's back on. Now you don't have to run with your headlights on all the time, burning out your bulbs. After all, when you need them, you need them. That's it for the video today, folks. Hope y'all like and subscribe. Shoot me a comment, and I'll get back to you later.